So I spent 24 hours with the iPhone 12 mini and God, has this been tough.
Hold up, things go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it once.
Hey, what's up guys? It's great to see you all again. And if you're new here, I'm Patrick and this is where I ramble about tech and other stuff. So yesterday, I unboxed the iPhone 12 mini and I gave you my first impressions. If you're interested in that, click the card up there. What I said then was that I wasn't even going to order the mini because I thought of it as a lower end iPhone, and having used only the largest models of iPhones and Androids for many years, I wasn't really interested. But then I got the regular iPhone 12, which to my standards was very small and very light, and I really enjoyed using it. So this got me super interested in the mini and I decided to review it after all. Now, before the iPhones were even released, I had pretty much already semi-decided on the largest model because that's what I'm used to. But now I'm so confused. Why? Because of this mini. There's just something about it. It's so cool, so fun, and so novel. I mean, it's not really novel, but it feels novel after all those years of giant phones. There's something about the mini that makes me want to pick it up every time I look at it. But there's a lot wrong with it as well, at least for me. Let's start with the good stuff. First, there's the small form factor. Again, I'm gonna sound like the biggest YouTube cliche, but it feels good in the hand. It really does. I mean, my hands are pretty small and I can't remember the last time I was able to type with one hand. We're all stuck at home now, so it doesn't matter as much, but normally when you're on the move, taking a subway or whatever, you generally are not gonna have both hands free, so being able to type with just one thumb is a big plus. Also, it slides into your pocket very easily. The large phones I normally use aren't really designed to slip into any pockets, so either I need to wear a jacket or bring a bag with me, which makes taking my phone out a bit of a hassle. And there's some little things, like it's even easier to slap on the MagSafe charger in the right position because the surface on the phone is so small you can't really go wrong. And because it's so small and so light, it's the perfect running companion. Try jamming an iPhone 11 Pro Max into a running belt. It can be quite a challenge, not to mention it flopping around my waist as I run. The mini feels almost like an iPod. I barely notice it's there. So this is all great. But it's not all rainbows and butterflies. But before we move on to the negatives, a sub to the channel would be really amazing. So if you like the content, please hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notified when I post the next video. I upload at least once a week, so there's plenty more coming. So let's talk about some of the downsides. Two-handed typing feels awkward. Even with small hands, after a while, my hands start to cramp up. It could be because I'm so used to typing on bigger phones, I don't know, but this is my experience so far. Also, because it's so small, some of my favorite accessories, like the high-rise wireless charger on my desk, won't work, because the phone simply isn't tall enough for the coil to reach the magnet. And speaking of magnets, I've noticed that the iPhone mini gets really hot when it's charging on the MagSafe charger. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it. It's a lot smaller, so it will have a smaller thermal envelope, but it doesn't change the fact that it gets very hot. And like I said, the phone feels great in the hand, but it also feels really delicate. Somehow it feels extra slippery. It's so light and so fragile that I'm constantly afraid I'll drop it. And I feel like I need to protect it like a little baby iPhone, and I don't like how fragile it feels. It's the cheapest model, but it's still a lot of money, so you don't want to be breaking or damaging it. Granted, I don't have a case around it yet, and I'm sure a silicone case would resolve some of the stuff I just mentioned. The notch looks a lot bigger on the mini. All models have the same notch, so it's gonna look massive on the 12 mini. Maybe you don't care about that, but having used Samsung phones for many years with just a hole punch where the camera is, I can't not see how massive this notch is. Of course, media consumption isn't gonna be all that enjoyable on the smaller screen, even though it has the beautiful OLED display. It's just a little too small to be watching a lot of content. I like to use my phone for editing photos, and for that, I really do need a bigger screen than this. I wouldn't even consider editing a video on it. Zoom video calls, which most of us are making many of these days, aren't going to be that great, especially when you're talking to more than one person. I like to use Google Maps in my car, and here as well, the Mini is just going to be a little bit too small. And lastly, if you're a gamer, this is definitely not the one for you. Your thumbs are going to cover up half the screen. But all of these things are minor nuisances compared to the biggest issue this phone has, which is its tiny battery. I was really hoping that it wouldn't be so bad, but it really is. I had to put it on the charger several times throughout the day to prevent it from dying, and still when I woke up this morning, it was almost dead. The regular iPhone 12 was still going strong, and the 11 Pro Max was just sitting in the back laughing. My phone is the thing I use most, more than my tablet, even more than my computer, so I want to be able to do most things on my phone and only move to my tablet or my computer if I have to. This phone is not for that kind of use. So who is this phone for? I think it's for non-power users, like my girlfriend who just thinks it's a cute phone. People who are tethered to their desks and charge it all the time, people who use their iPhones for making calls and the occasional email, or athletes that like to keep their phones on them. And of course, there is the budget consideration, but then again, it's not that much cheaper than the 12, which offers a bigger screen and a much better battery. And it's still very light and compact. Honestly, I wish I could keep it as a second phone because the Mini feels so good and it's so fun to use. It feels liberating because it fits pretty much anywhere and it has no bulk to it. But as a daily driver, it's just too limited for me. There's too many things I can't really do on it, and the battery life is just a disaster. I'll definitely feel a bit sad sending this back. My 12 Pro Max is a bit delayed, so I haven't been able to review it yet, so I might still change my mind. Could be that the Pro Max disappoints or doesn't feel right for me, but as much as I love the Mini, I don't think this will be the one for me. Once I've reviewed all three sizes, I will make up my mind and I will do a video about it where I will try to motivate my decisions as best as I can. So hopefully it will help you with your purchasing decision. If you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button, and if this video was any useful to you at all, please give it a like, leave a comment. It really helps getting the video to more people. Guys, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.